Get ready, Scoop Now Nation. We're diving headfirst into the drama with a brand new episode packed with passion, peril, and plot twists. First up, the raw, emotional childbirth scene of Julia in Outlander. Blood of My Blood is shaking up the fandom, with Hermione Corfield delivering a performance that's earned rave reviews. Then, we're dissecting Episode 7, Luceo Non Uro, where Ellen and Brian's secret romance heats up amidst political intrigue, and Dougal MacKenzie faces off with his sister. We'll also break down the highlights from that same episode, exploring the fiery moments and surprising alliances that are defining the season. And finally, get a sneak peek at Episode 8, A Virtuous Woman, where Ellen's purity is put to the ultimate test and Henry's world is turned upside down. You won't want to miss a second of this. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss a single update. In Outlander, Blood of My Blood, Episode 6 delivered a gut-wrenching moment as Julia, portrayed by Hermione Corfield, endured a harrowing childbirth under duress at Castle Leathers. Held captive and unraveling both physically and emotionally, Julia's labor was depicted with a visceral rawness that harked back to the franchise's iconic scenes, such as Claire Fraser's own childbirth experiences in the original series. Corfield herself prepared mentally for the intensity of the sequence, viewing it as a dream role offering rich material for an actor. She described it as a challenging yet rewarding exercise, tapping into deep emotional reservoirs to convey the experience authentically. The episode masterfully juxtaposed two starkly different realities. One showing Claire's arrival in the 20th century with Julia and Henry still united and hopeful, and the other plunging viewers into Julia's isolated despair as she gives birth to Claire's brother in a dungeon, surrounded by hostile women. Jeremy Irvine, who plays Henry Beauchamp, emphasized the profound grief Henry experiences believing Julia and their child are lost, describing it as a moment of utter heartbreak that leads to a disorienting, hallucinatory reunion. The detailed portrayal of Julia's labor underscores a central theme of generational parallels within the Outlander universe, with Corfield aiming to capture emotional echoes rather than direct imitation of Claire's journey. The series airs Fridays at 8 p.m. on Starz. But the drama is far from over, as we prepare to uncover even more secrets and heartbreaks. Next, brace yourselves for the fiery charisma of Episode 7, Luceo Non Uro, where alliances shift and passions ignite. Outlander, Blood of My Blood Season 1 Episode 7, titled Luceo Non Uro, is a triumph of scrappy charisma, skillfully balancing the intertwined yet distinct storylines of Ellen and Julia. The episode artfully weaves their romantic arcs, allowing them to brush against each other without collision, creating a compelling narrative tapestry. This installment also sees a reunion with an old flame and burgeoning flirtations with the Jacobite cause, adding layers of political and personal intrigue. The women are strategically placed at the heart of the action, with Ellen's exhilarating participation in a pivotal meeting between folk hero Rob Roy and the Jacobite movement, a space previously deemed untouchable by men. Her embrace with Brian serves as a tantalizing preview of their future once their secret is revealed, heightening the romantic tension. The ensuing confrontation between Ellen and Dougal is a standout moment, an authentic sibling squabble that unfolds with sharp insults amidst the presence of British officers, culminating in Dougal's forceful reaction. While more glimpses into their sibling dynamic could offer welcome moments of levity, the threads of disagreement between Brian and Murtagh effectively propel their respective quests forward. The episode also sheds light on Murtagh's early integration into Dougal and the Mackenzie's inner circle, predating Jamie's arrival. These conflicts, even minor ones like Henry's tongue-in-cheek warnings or the Grant's pro-British stance, keep the show dynamic and ensure the historical backdrop never overshadows the central love stories. This is classic Outlander, where romance flourishes against the backdrop of impending war. Even Lovett, the antagonist to Brian and Julia's friendship, escalates the stakes, revealing his ruthlessness in pursuing his own agenda within the Fraser name. His violent tactics suggest that reuniting Julia and Henry will demand a significant price. The episode concludes on a hopeful note, with a positive cliffhanger. Julia discovers correspondence signed by Henry in Lovett's chamber, a crucial step in reuniting Claire's parents and a callback to their epistolary courtship. This accidental discovery, a result of Lovett's meddling, brings Julia tantalizingly close to Henry's location, offering a much-needed glimmer of hope after a series of heavy episodes. But the most explosive revelations are yet to come, as new dangers emerge. Prepare for a shocking trial in Episode 8, A Virtuous Woman, where one character's honor will be put to the ultimate test. In Outlander, Blood of My Blood Season 1 Episode 7, Luceo Non Uro, characters navigate treacherous waters, with some emerging unscathed while others face delayed consequences. This episode stands out as one of the season's strongest. A key highlight is the burgeoning romance between Ellen, Harriet Slater, and Brian, Jamie Roy, which is no longer a secret to a crucial segment of Clan MacKenzie. After Brian's diversionary tactic with the Redcoats at a Jacobite meeting, Dougal, Sam Ritford, witnesses his sister's intimacy with a Fraser. Dougal's prior encounter with Brian makes this discovery particularly significant. Dougal threatens to inform Colum, Seamus MacLean Ross, a move that could destabilize the clan, especially concerning the Grants. Ellen counters by reminding Dougal of his own unauthorized attempt to fund the Jacobite cause. The episode's conclusion for Ellen suggests that Dougal's revelation to Colum could spell disaster for the clan. Adding a touch of levity to the otherwise somber narrative is the developing friendship between Julia, Hermione Corfield, and Davina, Sarah Vickers. Davina assists Julia in spiking Lovett's Tony Curran food with monk pepper to induce impotence, a plan that humorously backfires when Lovett compliments the cook, unaware of the true intention. Julia finds satisfaction in Lovett's subsequent inability to perform. Another significant development is Mrs. Fitz's, Sally Mesham, discovery of Brian's tartan, leading her to believe Ellen is romantically involved with her nephew, Murtagh, Rory Alexander, who harbors feelings for Ellen. Mrs. Fitz agrees to keep Ellen's secret, highlighting the challenges of maintaining a clandestine romance in any era. The episode also features Henry's, Jeremy Irvine, visit to Castle Leoch, ostensibly on behalf of the Grants. Lovett's letter influences Isaac, Brian McCarty, prompting a demand for Ellen to undergo a purity test to prove her virtue, an archaic and misogynistic requirement. Given that Ellen is no longer a virgin and Brian's tartan is found in her room, Colum may suspect her involvement with Brian. Colum pressures Ellen to pass the test, while Dougal adopts a more indifferent stance, leaving Ellen to face the consequences. The most heartwarming moment arrives when Julia recognizes Henry's handwriting on a document for Clan Grant, a poignant callback to their correspondence during WWI. Believing Julia dead, Henry's world is about to be profoundly impacted. This discovery significantly aids Julia's search for Henry and offers a beacon of hope in her dark journey. The episode concludes with Julia recognizing Henry's connection to Clan Grant, a vital piece of information that could lead to their reunion. But the trials are far from over, and the consequences of these actions are only beginning to unfold. Get ready for a preview of Episode 8, where a woman's honor will be put under the most intense scrutiny imaginable. Outlander, Blood of My Blood Season 1 Episode 8, ominously titled A Virtuous Woman, plunges Ellen and Brian's bond into a high-stakes trial that literally tests Ellen's purity. At the behest of Lovett, the Grants are set to question Ellen's worthiness and subject her to a deeply invasive trial concerning her virginity, a critical factor for her impending marriage to Malcolm. Desperate to shield Ellen from the potential fallout of failing this archaic test, Brian seeks Julia's crucial assistance in intervening. Meanwhile, the Grants continue to exert pressure on Henry, forcing him to cooperate and ensure the trial proceeds smoothly, all while he grapples with his grief over Julia's presumed death. He is increasingly plagued by visions of his wife, leading him to fear he's succumbing to madness. Unbeknownst to him, the outcome of Ellen's purity test will also have significant implications for his own marriage, particularly now that Julia is aware of his unwilling collaboration with the Grants. The episode promises to explore the ramifications of these intertwined fates, pushing characters to their limits as they navigate love, betrayal, and the relentless march of historical events. But the quest for truth and reunion is fraught with peril, and the path ahead is uncertain. Join us next as we revisit the devastating childbirth that set so many of these events in motion. That's all the scoop for today. We saw the intense childbirth of Julia in Outlander. Blood of My Blood dove deep into episode 7, Luceo Non Uro, with Ellen and Brian's secret romance and Dougal's drama, broke down the highlights from that same episode, and got a sneak peek at Ellen's purity test in episode 8. Don't miss a moment of the action. If you loved this update, smash that like button, subscribe to Scoop Now for all your breaking news, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Share your thoughts on these stories in the comments below, and make sure to follow us on all our social media channels for even more exclusive content.